All right, guys. So this story right here is very, very, very interesting and also very, very, very concerning. Okay, it's really concerning because, guys, like I told you, I'm very concerned with precedence. Okay, precedence is one of the most underrated aspects of law under any type of policy that a company or an organization, that can be a government, private, whatever, has, right? What did you do before in the past to handle this situation? Typically, that dictates how you're going to handle the situation moving forward, right? And when you set a new precedent, that opens the door for enforcement of a certain policy that may not have a desired result, okay? And I'm saying this as YouTube has removed YG's Meet the Flockers over anti-Asian lyrics. Now, the reason why they removed this video is because their employees, YouTube employees, have been asking YouTube to remove it because they feel like it promotes Asian hate. Okay, and also there is outside pushback, right? Everybody's pushing back against anti-Asian hate crimes and things that they feel can influence that stuff, right? Now, Meet the Flockers was a music video that had lyrics that a lot of people say, again, promoted this type of bad behavior, right? And that's why they're asking to be removed. Now, let's take a look here at what they actually asked for and what YouTube's initial response was. Bloomberg Equality reported on Tuesday that workers at YouTube and its trust and safety team have asked the site to remove the song from the platform. Quote, "We find this video to be highly offensive and understand it is painful for many to watch, including many in the trust and safety, and especially given the ongoing violence against the Asian community," an executive from the Trust and Safety Department reportedly said in an email. After reviewing the track, YouTube decided removing the song would force the site to change its entire policy, leading to more widespread censorship. As a result, it decided to let Meet the Flockers remain on the platform. While we debated this decision at length amongst our policy experts, we made the difficult decision to leave the video up to enforce our policy consistently and avoid setting a precedent that may lead to us having to remove a lot of other music on YouTube, the company explained in an email contained by Bloomberg. YouTube has an open culture and employees are encouraged to share their views even when they disagree with the decision, a YouTube spokesperson said in a statement. We'll continue this dialogue as a part of our ongoing work to balance openness with protecting the YouTube community at large. Okay, so YouTube initially decided that they were not going to remove it, right? But then if you go on YouTube and you search for the video, you're not going to find it, right? You're not going to find it. So they actually did end up removing it, right? Yeah, guys, this right here is very, very, very concerning to me, right? Not just as a content creator, right? Obviously, first as a content creator, yes, I'm concerned about this. But I'm also concerned about it from the standpoint of precedent, right? If you have to remove this video right here, YG's Meet the Flockers, which again, I don't endorse anything in the video. I don't endorse anything he's saying. I do not support anything that encourages any type of hate crimes, okay? Now, with this video right here, again, if you decide to take this down, what is stopping you from taking out all these other music videos that I would argue promotes violence against the black community, right? For example, why don't you take down every drill rap video, right? Every drill rap video, you know how much violence and ignorance are in those videos and that music? A lot, okay? A lot. And I would argue that that type of music has caused way more violence in the black community than it has in any other situation, right? It's hurt black people more. So what's stopping them from taking that down? Because you would have to apply the same standard. And if you apply the same standard, then you have to take that step to be fair. Because otherwise, at this point, it's unfair to YG, right? And I'm not necessarily trying to defend YG, right? I mean, he did make a song called F Donald Trump, right? But I will defend his right of freedom of speech, right? Just like I'll defend anybody's right for freedom of religion, etc. Fundamental rights are fundamental rights. And it seems to me that, you know, this small group of YouTube employees, right, it could be a big group, are swaying influence on freedom of speech. That's what's happening here. The company in and of themselves didn't even want to censor it. But because they have employees that work there that were offended or felt like it was offensive, again, obviously these people weren't decision makers, they caved. Which potentially means that some of these YouTube employees who are not even decision makers potentially have a lot of power and authority. If all of them lean left politically and they're offended by something and they don't like something, they can effectively censor it on the largest video platform in the world. We're talking about what? Hundreds of people, maybe thousands at most, whose collective feelings can sway a private company, which is going to affect basically the whole world, right? They can choose who to censor and who not to censor. Come on now, what type of precedents are we setting here? And I also find it funny how these people don't seem to care about the potential negative effects of this type of toxic music on the black community. Because the black community has been harmed by this music more than anybody, arguably. More than anybody. But nobody cared about that. Nobody cared about that. But when this music, right, when they see it as Asian hate, all of a sudden, you got to ban it. They got to do something about it. But nobody cares about all the violence that's happening in the black community, arguably due to some of this music, right? This culture. I just find that real funny. But unlike these people, I would never advocate to censor them, right? I would never advocate for them not to be able to say the things they're able to say. As much as I don't like Lil Nas X's music video, I never call for it to be taken down, right? I think that Lil Nas X, knowing his audience, should have put an age restriction on it. But I don't think I would go as far as to say that it should be censored. I just think the individual that made the music should take more responsibility and understand that he's influencing his audience in a certain way. But I do understand that he has the right to make whatever music he wants to make, right? Because again, guys, you know, the pendulum always swings the other way. And it's funny how this cancel culture has now swung in the direction of we're canceling rap, right? Or certain rap. Right? Based off its ability to influence people to commit violent acts. And again, I can argue that's a large segment of music. I mean, how are you allowing NWA? Right? How are you allowing NWA? Right? Think about all the anti-cop rap music out there. You can apply these arguments in so many different directions. But again, like I said, this is what happens when you go too far. When you do something one time and you start to set a precedent for something, it's going to affect both sides. Because people that are easily offended, people that don't value free speech, they're going to try to dictate what can and can't be allowed. Okay? They're going to try to dictate it. And just because you think you align with them doesn't mean that you actually align with them. Doesn't mean that they approve of everything you do. And because you've given these people that much power, you've opened the door to be censored. Right? Because they get to dictate what they like. Okay? And that even applies to rappers. It applies to rap. If they feel like your artistic expression goes too far, they can ban you. Okay? And YouTube tried not to. The higher ups tried not to, according to these stories. Because they do make exceptions for educational and artistic content. Content that falls under a certain category are given a lot more leeway to a certain extent. And then YouTube may have to even reevaluate that policy because they have employees that are more woke than they are. Okay? And this is what happens. This is what happens when you lay in bed with a certain group of people, right? You have to understand that this stuff can turn back around on you, right? If you let them control everything, right? if we have to censor our society based off of people getting offended or people's loose interpretations of something, then, I mean, we're going to have to censor everything. Everybody's going to be censored. There's going to be a very, very limited amount of speech that is allowed. And this doesn't just apply for the woke mob. It also applies for a lot of these big corporations in general, right? When it comes to the conservative movement, right? When, you know, historically, we've allowed these corporations to get so powerful that they now control politics, right? When they start to go liberal, all of a sudden conservatives are like, wait, this is not a good thing. Why do these corporations have all this much power? Okay, that's how it works. Like I said, at this point, I mean, hey, who knows? They might start banning certain video games, right? They might start banning all types of stuff that they define as potentially harmful and dangerous. Is that the world that we really want to live in? Probably not the world that YG wants to live in right now. And if I'm one of these rappers, you better wake up. You better wake up. This woke culture will come for you, right? Because, you know, rap embodies toxic masculinity. They don't like that. They don't like toxic masculinity. So here's the hoping that there's a whole new genre of anti-woke rap, right? Because maybe they'll help us win the culture war. Maybe we'll get more Kodak Blacks and Lil Waynes, right, out here supporting Trump. But until then, we'll see. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.